All right, so yeah, the Sony situation. Of course, we documented everything last week, where it's like Helldivers 2 shit show, where it was going to require everyone to sign up to the PSN. Which, like John and I, when we talked about it, it's like it's been there the whole time, kind of thing, whatever. But it's like, why didn't you mandate it immediately? Yeah, it's just back and forth. Gonna be delist from countries. So like throughout this week, they then pulled back on that mandate, where it's like you don't have to have the PSN, right? And
Yeah,
it
there was
seemed
a
like,
big celebration. It was like, we won.
yeah, we did it. Democracy wins. Let's go, baby. And then nothing changed, and Helldivers is still banned from 177 countries.
Well,
And now Ghost of Tsushima is being banned from countries for the same reason.
yeah. The craziest part about all this is the fact that the community manager for Helldivers 2 went on a campaign to get people to. They're like, you fought back against Sony. They changed their mind. They're not following through with it. Let's go back and change all of our reviews that you changed to make your point. Let's go change those back to positive. So a whole bunch of people did. A whole bunch of people went back. They changed their review back to positive. They're like, we did it. We won.
There was even a cape made for commemorating the negative drop.
Yeah, and there was
yet
it was literally an in-game mission. Like you logged in, it's like, you know, you click a button, it's like change your Steam review. It was an in-game mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's celebrated. Like, oh yeah, you guys won, and this big positive message put around it. Yeah, the game's still banned for 177 or what odd countries.
Yeah.
That don't have it, and if people had bought the game previously from there, it's been delisted. It's like they're kind of. It's like, yeah, the game might still be in their account. I don't know how that works necessarily, but it's not on Steam. They can't do anything about it now. Nobody else from those countries can do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just gets ripped out of their catalog because it's kind of slightly the same vibe of where very, very random comparison, but this is just what happened to me, and that's why I'm just kind of comparing it. It's somewhat similar to when Minecraft went away from their own launcher, which I know they do have it, you know, like with, you know, from Mojang's site and stuff, and it all linked to Xbox. You can still download a Minecraft launcher. Let me make that clear. I'm aware of this, but it's like going through Xbox. Like I can't add Minecraft to Steam anymore because I'm the weirdo that had Minecraft Java linked to Steam, so I could easily customize controller settings. Because as I've said on the show, I'm a bitch and I can't play with keyboard and mouse on anything. So it's like Minecraft got ripped out of my Steam library and I cannot re-add it anymore because it has to go through Xbox. So it's almost kind of like, I'm pretty sure like with Ghost of Tsushima or Helldivers, it just gets ripped out of their library. It's done. It's almost like, you know, these games that will get delisted, like racing games, like music IP. You know, it's the same thing. They get ripped out of your library. It's done. It's not in there anymore. Like it's not even like it's uninstalled and it's still showing there. Like it's just gone. It's not there.
Yeah, it's essentially just. It's weird to see this moment being celebrated by so many people when, at the end of the day, nothing got resolved.
I was about to say, we got a set of documents saying, hey, we're backing off, you don't, but we've seen actually no changes.
Yeah. All they did was they went, hey, instead of sending this update through with this section of it, we're not going to include that section of it. So you won't have to actually do that. We're not fixing anything else. We're not doing anything else. Or they haven't said that necessarily, but they haven't done anything to show that they're making moves towards it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's likely not going to happen.
And which that's a thing about, like, whenever we initially saw all the people, like, switching their reviews and everything like that, there was several people I saw through Twitter that were just like, I mean, all we got was a message. I mean, all these other countries are still delisted, and other people were just like, I'll rechange my review when something actually changes.
And I also saw where it's like when being asked about it and stuff like that, Steam support did clarify that it was the publisher decision to pull it from the country. So this is not on Steam. This is on
This is not
Sony.
on Steam. This is not on Airhead. This is Sony.
Well, yeah, as we've seen in the past, when disputes come up between like developers, or like if there's ever any question in it, Steam just goes, we're not fucking touching it. We're not doing a damn thing.
Like, we're just a marketplace. You deal with your shit.
Yeah.
And I've seen like some clips floating around and stuff too of people talking about it. It's like, yeah, It's like, yeah, I've put games on Steam too. If they wanted to change that, that's a quick message you send or a checkbox that you click, and it's done, and it gets added back. They're just not doing it, and they're hoping people just stay happy with the change.
Which it's a wondrous thing of just the people are just like, oh no, PSN, we're good now, versus everyone's like, well, still don't have PSN nor the game.
Yeah.
That's the thing of like when we were.
So it's a very interesting thing because like the other aspect of this is like we had this whole big rally of downvoting Helldivers 2, which also in turn with Tango Studios getting shut down, Hi-Fi Rush got that same trend of just everyone went to start review bombing it. And it's just like it's a protest thing, but at the same time, did it actually succeed us in the first way it happened? Because yes, Sony saying we don't have to log into PSN on Helldivers 2 now is a slight win, but it's still been lost to everyone who just doesn't have PSN in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of look at it and I'm like, because one thing I said, or one thing I don't know if I said it very well when we talked about it last week, is the fact that everybody's up in arms about this because they don't want to make the PSN account. And then the delisting from all the countries happens, and everybody goes in and they start putting that in as part of their excuse of like, this is horrible, this is horrible. And then as soon as the information comes out where it's like, oh, I don't have to make a PSN account. Okay, well, I'm perfectly fine now. I'm gonna go back to supporting it and everything. And it's like, weren't you complaining about these countries that are still delisted? It's like you're still like that hasn't changed. All that's changed is what is directly impacting you, and you're happy now.
Yeah.
And it's like at the end of the day, it's like most of these people, all they cared about is they didn't want to make the account.
Yeah,
Which is kind of sad that the main, what should be the main point of all of this is being swept under the rug in a sense.
Mm-hmm. What's going to be the fix for this sort of stuff? Because like I said, we're seeing the same thing now with Ghost of Tsushima. Like, because like I've been sitting here these past couple minutes, and I'm trying to go through the process in my brain here of like having a Microsoft account or a PSN account linked with these Steam games. Like, besides just tracking like progress and like trophies and achievements and stuff like, and I obviously tracking data and stuff like, what's the point of that being a step? Because it's like, I have no doubt in my mind there can still be I don't think it has anything to do with like any sort of profits or anything like that. Like they're still going to get their profit, right? Like, just being on the marketplace. Like what is the fix for this sort of stuff? Because it's like, it feels like this all became up in arms just now, even though it's been fine on the Microsoft side for years. Because it's been like this for years.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the fix? Is it removing it from completely, or is it always mandating it from the get-go, or is it just like like I've been pitching forever now, they just make their own launcher? Because when it comes to the PC stuff, if you look at the publisher, it's listed as PlayStation PC, LLC. Like I'm telling you, I think they're just going to have their own launcher eventually. Like, what's the fix?
I mean, in terms for Sony, at this point, based on how they're going about their whole IPs currently by delisting anywhere without PSN access, would be in fact them having their own launcher. Because the other aspect of Microsoft, because Microsoft's done it and had no issues because they have mandated it from game release whenever it reached PC, so it never became a issue of people losing access and things like that. Because that's the main core thing of this, is just that people who have been playing the game have now lost access to the game, in which we've also had the discussion before that digital games only will eventually be lost, but that's a lifetime thing of just once that generation has passed. This is more of a issue of current generation, current happening, and just being gone.
Yeah.
Which, on my face, you should have an issue with your digital games being lost anytime, regardless of when it happens to me personally. But the big thing is just when it is a current game and readily played game, one that people have logged hundreds to maybe thousands of hours if they went hardcore into it.
Mm-hmm.
I still I'm in my thought process, I'm still of the opinion, and until I see a direct article or direct statement from someone at Sony or PlayStation, I'm going to believe that they just didn't have, like I said last week, they didn't have this set up with Steam beforehand.
Oh, that's quite possible, yeah.
And they were just hoping that nobody would care. And I think going forward, they're just going to keep doing it. They're just going to keep putting it in there, and they're every time it's eventually they're going to like for their next game that comes out on Steam, like after Ghost of Tsushima, and that it's going to be mandated where if you buy the game, it's going to bring you like you click play, and it's going to take you to a home like the launch screen, and then it's going to redirect you to PlayStation website and say sign in or make an account. And if you click out of it, the game's going to close, and they're going to force you to do it. And if that's the case, people are going to they're either going to refund the game and they're going to complain, or they're just going to do it. And I think that's what Sony's going to try to do until they eventually put enough games out to decide maybe we should have our own launcher and then maybe pull their stuff from Steam.
I mean, the only issue I see with that is just which could lead to people boycotting Sony games on PC, is just the fact that this Helldivers is one issue just because it's a new recent game of this year. But now they have Ghost of Tsushima, which has been on PC how long?
Just like what, maybe a couple months, I thought.
So it's only a couple months as well?
I think so. I think it was one of the most. Let me look.
So my only thing is, are they also going to start requiring this for the ones that have been out for a couple years? God of War.
I don't know if they'll do it for...
I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head right now.
Spider-Man.
Horizon,
Last
yes.
of Us, I think.
So are they going to go back to these ones that have been out and start doing that as well?
I would have assuming they're smart about it. You leave those alone. Like the way I think about it is the ones that are already there, you leave alone. They're grandfathered into what the current system is.
Yeah.
Anything new that comes out, you click play on it, you're redirected to sign in or make an account. And like the other games are perfectly fine. And then if they ever do come out with their launcher, you sign into that there, and any game that you've bought on Steam that's got a link to that account shows up in the library.
And I agree with you. That would be the smart thing.
That's the way I assume that it should go.
That would be the smart plan. But as it stands right now, I'm thinking that back of just, are they going to backtrack? In which I would hope they wouldn't.
The reason I think they wouldn't is, at least to those games, the only reason Ghost of Tsushima was even being brought up as a potential have to sign into it is for the multiplayer component that is going to be added to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the base game and all of the single player stuff, you would be able to do without having to like sign in or link an account or anything. It was only going to be if you went to do the multiplayer stuff, you would have to do it.
Gotcha.
Because that was clarified.
Okay.
But yeah, so far it's only been multiplayer stuff that it's come up with. But I would assume in the future they're just going to start trying to sneak it in and force people to do it.
Oh, most definitely. Seeing as they've got their standard right now, they're showing their standard currently.
Yeah,
where they're going with it.
He's browsing Steam.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So Ghost of Tsushima comes out in 5 days.
Oh, so it hasn't even come out yet.
It's pre-purchase.
So it's being delisted ahead of time,
yes,
which
yes.
is a bit smarter, but it sort of sucks for anyone who pre-purchased it.
And going through all of the titles that I know of, the only one that has where you have to sign in the PSN account is Helldivers. I've gone to Spider-Man because, I mean, they're all single-player games. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that's because that was clarified by the developer for Ghost of Tsushima when he clarified it was only because of the multiplayer element.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. So as it stands, it would look like single-player games would be safe, but anything multiplayer would mean PSN account or nothing.
Right.
Which even if they go to their own launcher, that's not going to help anything.
I mean, it's not.
Because you'll still have to have a PSN account.
But it would be more streamlined. People would know what they're getting into more, obviously.
More controlled is a good way to put it.
It's more controlled. It's
Since
less
people
confusing.
Don't read requirements.
It'd be less confusing there because you assume Steam can buy whatever game is on there and not have to worry about it.
Right.
Correct.
No, I don't know what the solution's going to be, man. Like I said, I do think, though, we're just going to see a point where the PC launcher's coming for it, but sucks for the Helldivers thing. Hopefully they get it fixed because they said that, we're not going to force you to do this. So it's like, I don't see the reason why it's delisted. Like, if it's not required, why is it delisted? Are you just trying to put a middle finger up now? Like, I don't know. Hopefully they fix
No,
it.
it's because you know what it is. They've stopped for now. They're going to try to do it again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're going to try to sneak it in again in a couple months when people calm down.
Yeah. Which is going to probably raise another uproar unless people have moved
That's
on.
what you would think, but they may if they sneak it in because people have become like, oh, we won. Hey,
Yeah.
and
Because what'll end up happening is they'll talk to Arrowhead or something, and they'll be like, hey, create some cool cosmetics that you can only get by linking your PlayStation account.
Yeah. They'll probably.
That's
do
how you
some
get people
BS
to do it.
like
That's why
that's exactly how you do it.
That's why people are okay with doing Microsoft stuff. Is you get extra stuff for
Yeah.
connecting your account a lot of times.
Shitty business practices, man. It's across the whole industry. It's shitty business practices. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it, man.
It's what we got to deal with.
Unfortunately.